Around July 22nd, 2021 came Utawarerumono Zan 2, which was the sequel to Zan 1. However, due to poor sales performance of the first Zan game, Western viewers didn't receive Zan 2 in the West, but that didn't stop most of us Western players from playing it. Years later, publishers DMM Games and Shiravune and developers Aqua Plus announced an English release of Utawarerumono Zan 2 for PC via Steam, and we would later get news of the release date, and February 24th, Western fans could finally play Zan 2. However, no console, as it's only for PC gamers, and that there are no official announcements for a PlayStation or console release in English at the time. So it seems Western console PlayStation players will still be waiting, sadly. Let's go back in time and explain what Zan 2 is. Utawarerumono Zan 2 is a hack and slash Musou spin-off that released in Japan Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. It is based on Mask of Truth, the sequel to Mask of Deception. Zan 2 is the sequel to Zan 1, which is based on Mask of Deception. Following the previous events of Zan 1, overexerting his powers, Oshtor died in battle after defeating Virai and protecting Haku and Nekone. Upon his death, he passes his mask onto Haku, who would impersonate Oshtor in order to protect Anju, meaning that a new battle to keep Princess Anju safe, as well as the future as an Akamui, begins. So as you can see, the plot is no joke. The gameplay is hack and slash action RPG where you fight in teams of 4 or go solo if you want. Plus you can do raid attacks, plus the 4 chain cards are your special moves to use, which help a lot in battle. Some are healing as well as zeal recovery, and some are OP attacks while some are just trashy. If you upgrade them, you can use them more than once. Now for your zeal, once activated you can launch an ult, which is known as a final strike. Are there any PC advantages? No. I'm disappointed in the audio on the PC version because the game soundtracks feel very low during cutscene, and as someone who has played the PS4 version, I can definitely say the PS4 version to me had way bigger audio levels than on PC. And the language display settings are something you use in a lot of Western anime games, so no to that too. I'm gonna get to more of this later. Now starting off with the arena mode. The arena mode is where you play through the Hakuwolo Arena or Chronicles, which is basically the story. In order to progress through the next chapters, you must complete the side stories or Mononofu tales, which lets you explore the views of certain characters and hidden moments that revolve around our supporting characters. The expedition missions is where you fight enemies to obtain more food, EXP, battle points, and it's something I recommend grinding specifically. Tiger's Den is basically where you can grind for higher levels, but it also leads to the true ending route of the game, and in order to tackle this challenge you will need Radiant Stones. You'll need a big ass amount of Radiant Stones. I'm thinking somewhere around 70, but really depends on which floor you're at. Let's start off with the Path of Dreams. Path of Dreams is a survival endless mode where you tackle endless challenges. Now Path of the Mighty is something I recommend after beating the whole story. It has 100 floors, and the reason I say do it after is due to the fact that this has crazy hard bosses. These bosses are the ones you face in the story, like Virai, Matador, or Dekapompo, and many more, but the hardest to look out for are the main cast of Prelude to the Fallen, and mainly speaking Eruru, Aruru. Those two are the most ones in my opinion next to Virai you gotta deal with and watch out for, which is why I recommend beating the story first and also grinding in the Path of Dreams. But if you also want to grind in the Path of Mighty, then go for it, but if you lose, you start back at square root 1. However, you'll still be at the checkpoint as long as you have 5 floors finished. You can still continue from that checkpoint. And now in the special arena we have Dream Arena, where you can play offline by yourself with AI teammates or go online with human players, but it's also a good way to grind EXP and many other materials. And Mock Battle is where you can play PvP or free missions online co-op with your friends. Now you got the party. This one's pretty obvious. Put together your team of 4 and choose your favorite characters. Sometimes I like to do solo runs, it's a challenge for me. Then there's the Enhance/Equip, where you upgrade your favorite character's stats as well as equip scrolls for extra boosts of attack or defense and many other things. If you also feel like starting over on your stats, there's a reset option where the battle points return to you and starts your character back with low stats. You can earn character titles unlocked through story progression, and for outfits there's alternate colors you can unlock and buy from the shop. As for DLC outfits, we have new swimsuits as well as returning DLC outfits from Zan 1. The cooking gives you buffs during battle, and pressing Y will give a much larger buff in battle, so be sure to head to the bartering stand in order to buy new recipes and upgrade materials for Relutier 2. And now the bartering stand, and I say it's very important to use the shop as much as possible early in the game. Using the shop with your justice points, or JP for short, or cash will let you unlock certain things like base functions in the menu. Plus you can use it to buy certain things to upgrade in the main menu, like recipes for Relutier to make. outfit/alternate colors, strategy scrolls, and material. Plus, buy investigation stages for expedition missions. You can pay to level up your characters, but that's an option unlocked later, I believe after you beat the game. The bartering stand also lets you break down your scrolls for materials, which will let you create new scrolls. Summoning ritual lets you summon helpers or support type characters, which will help you in modes like the Tiger's Den. Internal affairs are certain objectives where you can receive material for things, like training reports, which will give you battle points, market reports give you food, politic reports give you justice points. I advise checking the internal affairs after every battle, especially if you want to focus on grinding materials as well as justice and battle points. BGM settings is where you set your favorite Utawarerumono soundtracks, combined with the game's original remix tracks as well as Prelude to the Fallen, Mask of Deception, and Mask of Truth. There are a total of 255 soundtracks in the game. However, it takes a while to collect all tracks as you can only buy one OST per battle. You can also set a playlist of your favorite OSTs and the soundtracks will fade into the next one during battle. You can change the time of day to either day or night, but funny enough, there are some good details to the characters as they chill throughout the day and night, but I honestly prefer the night more, mainly since the characters have better detail. Ururu and Sadana, of course, are in Haku's room. Most of these checking her bow. There's Atsui sleeping, and if you try to talk to her, she will say Haku's name and love. Then there's Shisu and Relutsie. Then there's Kuon doing her medicine, and Fumido with Shion, who is asleep. And then my favorite detail, Nekone doing her work, and Anju just looking at probably yaoi shit. And last but not least, Mikazuchi chilling on the roof aura farming. That is by far my favorite part about switching over to night. The resource room or gallery is where you can check the cutscenes of the game as well as change the base to previous versions or what it was like during certain chapters in the game. So if I go all the way back to say the beginning instead of the final version, Kuon won't be there as she was back in Tsukudu by the time. As you can see, there's more features than what Zan 1 had. Now, what are my thoughts on the PC version of Zan 2? Honestly, the audio feels downgraded on the PC as the game soundtracks I feel are very lower. Like the PS4 version was way more louder than the PC one, and I honestly feel that an update patch should be necessary to fix that audio. Plus, the PC port has horrible options because obviously resolution change is going to be on there, but no AA, no VSync, no frame rate, no texture quality, motion blur, depth of field, lighting, reflections. Like, those are the sort of settings we need to be seeing in a lot of PC games. So honestly, the PC port is just not it. Now, do I consider this $40? Nope. It's one of my most played Musos out there, and I've honestly covered a majority of anything, even if it's considered niche to other gamers. I'm a different breed when it comes to the games I love, but I don't consider Zan 2 to be $40. I would say 20 at best, because the gameplay to many gamers is niche, and as a Muso gamer, I would say it's C tier if there was a Muso tier list. So even the price itself is pretty far-fetched. Now, do I consider the gameplay perfect? It's decent, but it's not perfect. There are certain characters whose movesets are just not it. Plus, most of the returning characters' movesets haven't been upgraded or anything at all. They just still play the same as they did in 1. Is Zan 2 the Muso I recommend to other Muso players? Yes. However, it's Zan 1 I don't recommend, as it was a huge disappointment, and it's the reason we never got Zan 2 in the West back then. But all in all, Zan 2 is a decent game, and I recommend it to anyone looking for more Muso games. I hope you guys enjoy this review and have a good day.